Good morning and welcome back to the Degen crew, where I'm trying to grow my Polymarket account by finding a missed price prediction markets. Here for the month of March, where all our winning positions, all my oil predictions ended up being correct. My Mr. Beast almost got me yesterday. The counter I was using ended up being a no good, so that one's taken off the spreadsheet. But the Mr. Beast prediction ended up being for how many subscribers he would have by the end of March ended up being correct, just in time, by the way. But that's the one I'll be keeping an eye on every single month, because in the month of February, I also had the subscription, how many subscribers he would have by the end of February. And I noticed on the last 2 days that it was some of the predictions on how close it was to how many subscribers he would have. There was still a pretty wide gap. So in the last 2 days, I was able to purchase something that still had 20% or 20 cents left for a prediction to actually happen. And it was pretty likely that it would happen, where I thought it should have been at 95 cents and not 80. So again, I'll be keeping an eye on that at the end of every single month. It is now on my watch list. But here we are. We'll claim $2,589 for all our predictions, sort of long-term predictions for the month of March. I'll call them midterm. Those aren't really long-term, but I wasn't trading in and out of those ones as much. They were just my monthly March predictions. The oil ones were ones that I held all through the month of March. So here we go, claiming $2,589. If you see there, it's 38%, 36%, and 20%, and I think it was 19%. I'm not going to share this one. Oh, will I share it? No, I'm not going to share that on X. So that was for the month of March. I'm not going to be I'll take a look at the oil predictions for the month of April, but I think from now I won't be, as long as the war's still going on and kind of up in the air of when it's going to end, how long it's going to go for. Right now I'm sitting out of the oil markets. The oil markets also swung pretty wildly. I don't necessarily want to be in that for the month of April. The one I am looking at for the month of April that I started a position in yesterday was this one. So the announcement of the end of military operations against Iran buy. So specifically yesterday, I started buying April 7th and April 15th. One of the rules I put in place was I was taking stuff that the president would say at face value. And yesterday, they went and announced the Iran war. They initially said it was going to be 4 to 5 weeks, and here we are at the end of 4 to 5 weeks. And they announced yesterday it could be 2 or maybe 3 weeks longer. So now, based on that, put aside all your biases, put aside whatever you're thinking about what's happening in the Middle East. If they're saying this could be 2 to 3 weeks longer, specifically from yesterday. So April 7th is 1 week. April 15th is another 2 weeks. They could be saying this just to try to draw in Europe into this. Trump specifically said, "Oh, you guys can all go and get your own oil." But then he said today that he wants the Straits of Hormuz back open. So who knows if this will actually end in 2 to 3 weeks. So you could technically be buying pretty long out here. For example, buying the June or even the December. But based on what he said yesterday, if it's going to last 2 or 3 weeks longer, I can buy April 7th and April 15th with a little bit more certainty that this actually won't end by these 2 dates. So I'm buying the no's on these, or I'm shorting them. I'm saying no, it won't happen by these 2 dates, specifically because they said it's going to last 2 or 3 weeks longer. It could go on longer than that. but will end quicker. That's the part that I'm not. I think if they say it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks longer, so far it keeps extending. So I'll take that at face value and start buying the nose on 2 weeks and 3 weeks out. The only part of this I think I do have to fade is tomorrow. Apparently they're supposed to have an announcement at Wednesday at 6:30 in the evening, where there will be an update. So I do think I have to fade that. Technically, if they say it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks longer, tomorrow evening, I think these will quickly close these gaps and get up to pretty much 90, get pretty close to 99 cents, depending on what he says tomorrow. I could also be watching it and buying more tomorrow as he speaks. The only thing that would cause these to go down really quickly, or for the yeses to go up really quickly, would be if he says something like, "We're getting out tomorrow," which I don't think that is the case, based on what they've said so far. So I'm buying the nose on April 7th and April 15th. I'm staying away from the long-term ones for now. If it drags out again after 2 or 3 weeks, they say, "Oh, we're going to be there for another 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, we're going to be there for another 2 or 3 weeks." Then I'll start looking at the long-term ones, and I would go pretty far out at that point. I'd be looking at 2027 or December 2026, depending on what they're priced at. But for now, I'm going at April 7th and April 15th. I'm saying no. Yesterday I was buying the no at 70 cents. It's already at 74 cents. And I was buying the April 7th at 84 cents, and it's already at 91 cents. I'd be taking profit on these at, again, depending on what they say tomorrow. But if I just wanted to lock in profits, I'd be locking in profits even around 95 cents, not risking holding on to the position. Those are my, I'll call them my shorter term ones for the month of April. I've also started buying some longer term ones. Polymarket does this, but for you guys, I can do it again. I can, for some reason, it doesn't always claim right away. But for a second round of fireworks to claim the $2,589, we'll go again. We'll see if it claims. And here were your percentages: 13%, 38%, 36%, and 2%. So here you go for the second round of fireworks. It really wants me to share. I'm not going to share it. I also have started buying some longer term ones, and this is just I'll call it a strategy I'm playing around with. For example, I'm going to call this, I don't have a section in the spreadsheet yet for this. But here's an example. Will Xi Jinping be out before 2027? For me, that is pretty unlikely. But what I'm trying to do with some of these predictions, and I'll buy the yes and the no on this, is some of these long-term predictions. This is newer for Polymarket. To keep long-term pricing accurate, we're paying a 4% reward on your total positions on this market. So they're paying 4%, and this is annual. So they're paying 4% from Polymarket's treasury. So you can earn 4% just by holding a position. The only downside to this is they do say that they can change this reward at any time, depending on how much is in the prediction. It's up to them what they want to pay on these, but they're saying to try to keep these long-term predictions accurate and to incentivize people for holding them, because some of them go out as far as 2028. So to incentivize people to hold on to these, they're starting to pay a reward for holding on to them. So I've started to, I'll call this reward farming. I don't have the full strategy down yet, but I'll be trying to buy at better prices, some yes and potentially some no, just to hold on to and earn these rewards. But right now, for example, I was buying the no, he will not be out before 2027. My average price was 91 cents, but factoring in that you're getting some reward back, you're almost getting a kickback. So you're actually making, you're getting an extra 4% on on top of that, so almost 14% to hold on to that till the end of 2027. So don't have a heart attack, but that's the only thing. One of the main things that would be a health issue, that he would be out before 2027, or him starting a war with someone like Taiwan. And even then, it wouldn't necessarily guarantee, if he started a war, that he would be out as their leader before 2027. So that's my reward farming. I'm just starting to play around with that. I'm trying to see how they pay those out. I believe they already paid out some. If I go into the history here, they should have paid out some last night, because they're supposed to pay out the rewards every 24 hours. So yeah, 14 hours ago. So this was from the day before. They paid out 2 cents on that. That was the 4 cents. The rewards are paid out daily. It's daily at 12 o'clock. I should have got one last night, and I don't know why I didn't. So that's something I'll have to keep an eye on as well, how their reward payouts actually work. But that's an interesting one to keep an eye on, and ways you can get discounts on your poly market predictions. So that's it for today. Enjoy your day. Thank you guys for watching.